The Rupture Strain, a new menace on the battlefield to us and our boys in the fight for managed democracy. Bred in the gloom from who knows what fascistic combination of chemicals, for only they know what purposes. Tunnelers who make their homes below the surface, needing us to chase them out and gun them down. High Command has asked us to take out these creatures as we fight for managed democracy, gathering samples over in Oshun. So let's talk about them, what they bring to the table, and how to fight them. And while I'm here, a small discussion on balance and enemy design. Welcome aboard the Eye of Twilight, Helldiver. Northern Crusader reporting. And for this debrief, a view on new creatures, the Rupture Strain. The Rupture Strain came in with Into the Unjust, introducing Hive Worlds, the ODST legendary warbond, Hive Lords, Draco Roaches, and a Dust Devil warbond. Right now, I don't really have a lot to say about the Hive Lords and the Draco Roaches, because I feel like they've hit the right notes. Hive Lords are a terror on the battlefield, but with work and coordination and a bit of luck, they can be killed. It just takes a while. Draco Roaches on the other hand are flying Bio Titans. Whilst I don't want to oversimplify things, you fought one, you fought them all. We'll talk about them another time. Your regulars on the ground have had 3 new mutations added to their ranks. The Rupture Warrior, Rupture Charger, and the Rupture Spewer. These creatures burrow into the grounds with either tactical advantage before attacking you. Warriors get into close quarters and stab you. Spewers get into close range and spear your acid at you. And Chargers, well, the obvious. These creatures come with improved armor, health and damage compared to their cousins. Chargers, we can deal with easily. They're just like their cousins, but they try and sneak up on you. And I say try, because whilst digging, they leave a trail behind them that you can track to see where they're going to come from. Bring AT to shoot it in the face, or blast its tail off, just like any other charger. Deal with one, you deal with them all. The only issue I bring up right now is that their armor is 1 step heavier than normal. What does this mean? Instead of trying to kill it with what works against hulks, you have to use what takes out tanks. Some of the same stuff, but obviously some of the stuff gets taken out of the rotation as well. Spewers are a bit more of a problem. Most like their Bio-Spewer counterparts, they come with medium armor on their face and light armor on the tail. Get a flank of a surprise attack on these things, and you can tear them apart with rapid fire weaponry like the Liberator. But head on, you need to bring a Penetrator, or Reprimand, or other medium armor penetration. This is harder to come by in reliable forms, but this is where the problem comes in. Spewers will dig and pop up in short range of a diver before spitting acid at you, either as several acid balls, or as a consistent stream, using hit and run tactics to constantly keep you on your toes. Any light armor target at this point remains underground, and good luck using the Blitz or Arc Throw against them, as they now fully resist the stun. These things need to die fast, painfully, their dreams crushed, and their children turn into Element 710 that powers our war machine. However, whilst underground, they are vulnerable to explosives. Your best option when fighting them is either medium penetration weaponry, so you can tear through the skull, or explosives, when they're underground. Contact explosives blowing them up will do major damage, so autocannons, HE rockets from your recoilless, commandos, you do have options. This is a difficult choice, but getting in the proper team will make it easier on you, especially when explosives tend to be limited in ammo. I can't even say bring acid armor, because in most cases your armor won't save you from them, but bringing explosives you can try and force them out. Just remember the Helldivers' basic rules. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and democracy. Well, maybe not democracy. And this brings us to the warrior. Okay, look. This thing is why this video exists, honestly. Let's start with the simple. Its armor is improved over its cousins, with medium armor on its face. Although its body remains light, you're not going to have a chance to hit it if it's coming at you. Why do I bring this up? Well, let me tell you a quick story. In my travels across the internet trying to find out how best to fight these things, I came across a Reddit comment. I'm not going to link it, I'm not going to quote him because he deserves his privacy, but I'll paraphrase. People asking for nerf are revealing how much they suck at the game, because to fight them properly, you either aim for the tail, or just dodge. Yeah, about that. I don't see a way you shoot the tail from the face. Do you? Now, I'm a regular in this game. I've been playing since launch and I tend to dive at 7s. I took a bit of a break at a point just due to life, but I keep coming back. The problem with warriors isn't the armor, it's how the armor fits in with their speed. You can track where they're going and the explosive method to blow them out the ground still works. But if you haven't got explosives, which again tend to be limited in ammo, you have to rely on medium pen. And if you haven't got medium pen, you're going to struggle to fight it. When they dig and they come up to strike you, you need reflexes of steel. Well, reflexes of a god to dodge them. If it hits you, chances are it will do a critical wound. I tend to burn 2 stims every time an engagement is with them. How's this matter? With normal armor, you only bring 4. You burn through stims fast with these around. But one of the counter arguments was just lower the difficulty. So here's some footage of me running around on 5s and 6s. 6 is where Rupture Warriors tend to begin appearing, and 5 is kind of middle of the range. For those who don't understand, Helldivers runs up to difficulty 10. I tend to run around 7s, that's where I'm most comfortable and where I enjoy myself. It's chaotic enough while having that level of control that I still have wins and losses. I know I'm using a choice of footage here to show you what's going on, but here's the thing. My stratagems for this footage don't really matter. I am using the heavy siege ready armor. It doesn't provide any buffs to my limb health, but it does provide me a faster reload and more ammo. In this case, as you can see, at difficulty 5, I tend to be able to handle things easy enough. At difficulty 6, the damage that Rupture Warriors do to limbs stacks up and I'm burning through stims. Now, at this point, this is when I learned, hey, explosives work and HE rockets. Well, yeah, they work. And I will admit I've had a few engagements in bad terrain, but that doesn't really help when, again, ammo. Funnily enough, for all the comments about how the autocannon is going to get nerfed because it's a reliable all-rounder and always has been, they haven't really changed that. And honestly, with this, I could honestly say that since the Battle of Super Earth, the crossbow and the eruptor have come back up into form. If you use them to blast them out the ground, you'll still have ammo, and then you can reload fast enough to make it matter. But otherwise, autocannon, HE rockets, just general explosives. But otherwise, how would you fight them? And honestly, reflexes are your best friend. If they're coming at you, you have a small window to get out of the way of warriors. Otherwise, medium pen rapidly can go through the face, or just aim. I can't really say anything else than that. But with that, you have the penetrator and slugger, which come from the Helldivers mobilized warbond. And the medium machine gun as another option, but that comes in every, 5 minutes? But in this case, there's still options, and the medium machine gun actually pins you down when reloading. But with this in mind, I have one recommendation that might surprise people. The pacifier. Medium armor penetration and reliability make this a good weapon, and while it doesn't do heavy damage like every other medium pen weapon, it does actually stun. This lets you pin down the enemy while you're still damaging them. Another option is a reprimand with the highest damage per shot out of all the weapons that aren't the diligence counter sniper. But if you're using diligence counter sniper, I have to ask, why are you using it in close quarters? Okay, with weapon modifications you can make a decent close quarters weapon out of the diligence counter sniper, but at the same time you have much better options out there. The slugger and Holt, just for 2 quick mentions. Ruptures need you to react quick to pick them off or get out of the way. The counter sniper doesn't do quick reactions. So let's bring up the Coyote, which I'm pretty sure I'm saying wrong. The new assault rifle from Dust Devils. It's good. It's very good. The Coyote brings medium armor penetration, high rate of fire, high damage, and incendiary ammo. With medium penetration, you can fight most things that a penetrator and diligence counter sniper can. The rate of fire means you rack up damage quick, and the incendiary ammo means if you can damage it enough on lighter armor, the flames can actually spread even more damage, making this a threat to every bug. Impaler flesh, charger tail, spewers, bile-titled undersides, hide lord heads. If you know where to shoot, you can do damage. Do enough damage, you set them on fire. Fire is consistent damage until it's put out. Hell, If you want me to look at other fronts, I imagine the Illuminati are terrified of this thing, considering the only thing you can't damage a medium pen is the Stingray, the Illuminati gunship. On the bot front, there is almost always some form of medium armor out there that you can tear through with this thing. I think the only thing you can't damage in some way with this thing is the Factory Strider, and that is a heavy armor mech. Everything has some kind of weak spot that you can tear through. One of the arguments I hear is that this is supposed to be more difficult, and granted, it is. And I love the idea that this is a bigger challenge. The underground side of things makes it difficult to get around and keep your bearings. If you haven't got radar, you have to chart these tunnels yourself. You need torches so you can look around and see, so at least one member of your party has to bring them. If you need ammo, you need to either use one of the holes in the sky, which can miss and go into the pit, or you need to leave and find every arm. But that's where this whole thing comes in. But there's a difference between a new challenge that's difficult and an unbalanced opposition. Meridia, when we were blowing it up, had a horde of Shriekers come out when you finished the operation. If you don't remember those days, this is before the squids returned. Yes, we are that far back. And that horde made it so no one, without a massive amount of luck and skill, could clear the operation. There were just that many of them, and they would just not stop coming. So, yes, there are times when Arrowhead do make mistakes and do unbalance things. But at the same time, we shouldn't just look at it and go, oh, you're just bad. Being bad doesn't mean that things are balanced. A bad diver can still handle a lot of threats. They just need to be able to learn. In this case, I'm an experienced diver. I'm struggling, and yes, these are new threats and I'm learning how to fight them. At the same time, I'm still finding it difficult to do. I wouldn't be surprised to ask a lot of divers, they are struggling to fight these things. From what I've heard, Oshu now outnumbers Malevelon Creek for how many casualties we had, how many operations have been run, and how bad we are doing. That should tell you something. So, let's talk this from a balance point of view for a moment. These things are more heavily armoured than their counterparts, whilst also being the same size. So, I frankly think there's an issue here. I'm not going to talk hard and fast numbers because that's not my job. Joel has a better eye than me. At the same time, I can give opinions. As they are now, I think what we should be looking at is either reducing the spawn rate of these creatures, so there's less of them out there, and keep the difficulty as it is, or we should make it so they are smaller, weaker, but faster. Either way, as much as I hate to say it, there are issues with these creatures. The Charger is probably the most balanced of the trio. All I'd really say is make it smaller and lighter armoured. The said Digger, why is it both stronger and faster than its counterparts? The Spewer, on the other hand, I would honestly say the only issue I have with it is how small a target it is. Make the head light armour. That's it. That's all I'd change. As for the Warrior, well, I hate to say it, but you should really look into making the attack between coming out of the ground and hitting you a lot slower. Maybe make it like half a second so you've got a chance to dodge out of the way. In my experience when dealing with Rupture Warriors, they have a higher chance of being able to do a critical wound to you. Now imagine when a creature pops up and it instantly breaks your leg. You can't break off from combat with that. These things rely on close quarters. You need to be able to aim, it just broke your arms. You need to be able to get out of there alive, it just gave you a chest hemorrhage. These things are not balanced in that regard. However, this is not to say that they are bad designs. Personally, I love the Rupture Strain, but at the same time, we should either look at making them smaller or making them less numerous. That's it. So, why are these things so hated compared to the Predator Strain? Honestly, the Predator Strain, it's just smaller stalkers. They go invisible, they come in close quarters, they make it so they can sneak up on you. These guys are diggers. I love the idea of them being diggers. But there's just more work needs to be done. Now right now with the Oshu in operation, we are actually failing it, as of writing. We are supposed to be heading for samples, and people are struggling out there because we just can't clear operations. Yes, the target is operations, to get samples. But if we can't clear the operations, we can't get the samples out of there in the first place. I think these things need a second look over just to make them a tad more balanced. Otherwise, I love these guys. They're a fun fight. Well, divers, your break's over and this debrief is at an end. Get to your pods. The recruits from New Mombasa are starting to make us look bad. Time to drop feet first into hell once more. For democracy.